Hello and welcome to Commodity Watch Global. Today we're going to take a look at Afghanistan and Afghanistan's situation in the global commodity trade. I'm very glad everyone here is joining me. And I guess before we get into our very first video, I'm going to run you through the aim and objectives of this channel, as well as what these videos are made for and who they're made for. So basically, the point of these videos is to demonstrate the channel's literacy in the area of commodities. In the future, the channel will be providing insights into the commodities sector, as well as working to build relationships globally with key external stakeholders. In order to increase our authority in the sector, our team decided that we're going to be doing a breakdown of every single country in the world and a very basic overview of its commodity trade, the location of commodities, etc. This creates credibility, and credibility is the first step when it comes to developing relationships. To become literate in the field of commodities, we have conducted holistic research in the field, as well as creating these types of videos which come from the notes that our team has taken. We are constantly looking to improve, so feel free to interact with us in the section and share your personal experiences you have with the country. This will mean that our community benefits from your knowledge, as well as the channel. So today we're going to be talking about Afghanistan, and we've read the book Oil and World Politics, the real story of today's conflict zones, Iraq, Afghanistan, Ukraine. We will be taking a look at Afghanistan. Now, one of the things you may notice first is the flag that we have put, which the knowledge came, or the photo came from the CIA's fact lab. Now, this flag is not the actual flag of Afghanistan since the Taliban takeover, but this thing ties into the book Oil and World Politics and shows how you could have a government in a country and yet the rest of the world refuses to acknowledge that government. When it comes to the actual country overview, we can look at the population distribution, which shows that Afghanistan has a very young population. GDP as of 2021 is estimated at 60 billion. And if we continue this video, we can now look at the state of the commodity sector. So since the Taliban takeover of the country and the new government, Afghanistan has been seeking to look to do deals with China and countries neighbouring the country itself. We can also look at the statistics we have on petroleum refinement, which is that the consumption of petroleum in the country, you can see there in the indicators. And then when it comes to my overall thoughts on the actual book, Oil and World Politics, essentially the commodity trade, well, let's actually break this down. Commodities are the source historically of the largest fortunes that have ever been built, and the control of commodities is basically a 0 to 1 in terms of wealth, company assets, and so on. Now, what's interesting is that when I look at, say, the commodity trade and the GDP of Afghanistan, which is only 60 billion, the estimates of reserves in terms of commodities in Afghanistan is 20 trillion. So what we'll see following the establishment of the new government in the country is multinational corporations attempting to do the usual tactic of pillaging the country's wealth. But I've talked to people on the ground in Afghanistan, and my gut reaction is that this will be much harder than expected, given the integrity of the current government in terms of providing outcomes that for its population. In terms of your experiences with the country and the commodity sector, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. But effectively, if I was going to dig deeper into the commodity trade, and this is just some more general thoughts, and when it comes to integrity, commodities have historically involved abuses of power on native populations. And from a capital perspective, it's kind of like you go, what's the point, given the state of the economy? I would think it'd be very interesting to see if the government in Afghanistan looks into nationalising key commodities and seeking external partners to develop them, and to do so with a non-profit motivation. But anyway, that's just my general thoughts. And this video is just the very first video the channel will be publishing. Now, before we conclude the video, we're going to now be looking at why we're publishing videos this specific way, which is different to other channels. So this channel, as well as the business that the channel is related to, is seeking to obtain certification in ISO 9001 quality management systems and other related standards. A key part of ISO 9001 is the constant improvement cycle, and the reason why this video seems rushed and put together haphazardly is that we're going to start off with our first video on Afghanistan, and as we work our way through the 190 roughly countries on Earth, we will seek to improve one part of the video each additional video. The YouTube algorithm will basically ensure this video will get between 0 to 5 views, and ideally once we make little improvements here and there, as well as conduct management reviews to ensure that each video is improving, the quality of the videos will increase. Now, this channel will not be doing sponsorships. It will not be selling, the VPN. It will not be selling the Better Health subscription. The channel has an external source of funding that will ensure this channel becomes one of the largest channels, both on YouTube and in the world, in terms of coverage of commodities. This will likely include exceeding, Bloomberg as a source of commodity news. Because we have secured additional funding sources, for now we're going to be doing PowerPoint slides, but in the future, these slides will include real on-the-ground video footage of the country, the specific, commodity sites in the country, meetings with government officials, and proprietary data that is not seen anywhere else, that is made public on the channel to demonstrate our credibility to external stakeholders. Because we'll be making videos in every single country in the world in the commodity sector, the channel believes that key players in those sectors will stumble onto the video and will notice the tiny details that the channel does differently to every other channel on YouTube. We will use these comments and the relationships built in the comment section to populate our CRM, with the outcome being to establish a global network of commodity players who can assist with deals in the commodity trade. We hope you've enjoyed this first video, and please come back for our second. Make sure to follow and subscribe, and we will be talking to you shortly.